Everybody, this is Shawna, Lesley, and Maia here tonight with Babes with Boox.
Woo!
Hello,
I'm pretty excited I missed last month, so
yes,
I'm happy to have you back. It seems like a long time
yes.
in between for everyone.
I know.
For sure. Tonight we are talking about a suspense novel called Stranger in the Stranger in the House? A Stranger in the House, I forgot.
Stranger in the House.
Stranger in the House. I forget the author. Uh-oh.
This is a bit of foreshadowing to how good the book was.
Sherry Lapina? Is that it?
Yeah. Yes.
You have the technology.
I have the technology. I'll look it up.
It's okay. We'll figure it out.
Anyway, so we wanted to
it
talk
was so
about.
good. We remember.
She's a Canadian author. This is her second book. Her first book got a lot of buzz last year. Couple Next Door was on the top list of thrillers for the year.
I think it's a movie too coming out, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, I didn't realize that. So yeah, and so then the second book came out, and yeah.
Did we like this book? That is the question.
Should we do like a thumbs? Let's just do like a surprise thumbs.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Oh. I only did one thumbs down. She's like thumbs up. I'm like one thumbs down. She's like two thumbs down.
I'm not two. I'm one.
Okay, awesome.
All right. I'm one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the thriller genre a little bit, as long as they keep me guessing. And I said to Lesley, I'm kind of dumb. I can't figure them out. Like that the movie.
So why this book? Why did you like this one?
I did not figure that movie out.
Which
I know
movie?
the Sixth Sense movie.
I totally knew that. No, I didn't.
Did you figure out Gone Girl?
No, I don't figure out
like-
anything. I'm an idiot. I'm telling you, I just cannot. I'm naive.
I don't know where to go with that.
The guys at university said, Shawna, did you know the word gullible isn't in the dictionary? And I'm like, no, really? And then they're like, yeah. That explains a lot about me, right?
Okay. I have a visual dictionary.
Do you like that feeling then? Is that what you like? Do you like that you don't know the ending?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I find it's fun. It keeps me reading, and that book I was reading at night and going to bed, and it kept me awake, and I was reading a lot of it. So it wasn't as good for me as some of the other ones I read, and we'll talk about them a little later on. But it was okay. Okay. What about you guys?
So for me, I don't love that feeling. I am far too curious of a person to read a mediocre thriller. It doesn't keep me entranced enough in the story to not know what happens. So then I'm a flip to the end type of person on that type of book. If it is really good, then then I want to wait it out. I want to wait it out if the writing is good and that story. If I'm entranced in the story, but if I just want to know the end, I just go for the end. And so this book was one of those. I just couldn't care.
So you didn't care about the characters, you think, and then that just made you be like,
well, I felt it was just kind of obvious.
When will this be done?
I felt like a lot of the plot lines were like tropes. Like amnesia, really? Like, give me a break. Like how many headlines do you see that a real person has amnesia? Like not very many, and yet somehow thrillers always think that that's what we're gonna believe is this person gets amnesia. Like I've been in 2 car accidents and no amnesia here. Like it would help because
some things you just want to forget.
So I didn't like that.
So did you figure this one out then? You said it was too obvious.
Well, yes and no, but it wasn't. That's not necessarily why I hated this. I
Hate is a strong word.
Yeah, I feel like they took abuse and they made it a plot line. The fact that this woman made that a plot line really made me angry. And actually probably would avoid any books by this author in the future, kind of just because I really disrespected that. So it was like a serious reason, serious why I didn't like this. I felt that was really not a thing to do. Yeah, to take spousal abuse and turn it into a plot line like she did in this book. I didn't like. And the man, I would have castrated him. There are some female characters that I've wanted to yeah, and this guy was one of the male characters that I just could not stand. He was beyond ridiculous.
He was an idiot. I agree.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah. So that's the male and the spousal abuse storyline. Really, just this book was. Yeah. Sorry, that's my 2 thumbs down.
Well, I didn't like this book. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. So I'm kind of like right in the middle, hence the 1 thumbs down. But I'm leaning towards the down, mainly because I figured it out. Like if I'm gonna read a mystery, then I want it to be mysterious, and I thought it was really predictable. And even though there was that twist at the end, I was like, yeah, whatever. We all knew that it was actually her. And even the author tried to make us believe that it was somebody else, and then we're like, oh yeah, we're all on that train. But then I was like, yeah, she's just gonna go with this little twist at the end because everyone likes the twist at the end, and she did.
But the twist that I hate that has been employed since Gone Girl, which I actually feel did well. I feel like, but in the last 5 years since then, is let's take these crazy women and employ it in a thriller.
Yeah.
Well, and make them a character that is. What are you supposed to do with that character? You can't really like it. You can't. It's just, and they're not really they're just.
Want to relate to them,
and haha, I got away with being crazy.
Yeah, and awful. I don't think I like that as a thriller. I guess I don't consider. Maybe if they were actually crazy, but this woman was just. She was just a bitch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not really a fan of her.
So that brings me to the question then of the Scarpetta kinds of books where
I know I have
Patricia Cornwell
and I have Kathy Reichs.
So I like
Scarpetta
as a character because she's number one, she's a medical examiner, which I'm a kind of a blood and guts CSI kind of nerd. I used to be a lab tech, so I like the more description about blood traveling all over the walls and that sort of thing is kind of cool. But she's a hero, right?
Yeah.
Because she's able to figure this out. So she's a very strong character, I think, in the Scarpetta books, which is why I like Patricia Cornwell. I don't read it very much anymore, but I used to read a lot of Patricia Cornwell.
I've read, I think 1 or 2 of Patricia Cornwell, and I've read a few of Kathy Reichs during a period, and I liked Kathy Reichs better. I felt they were less Hollywood. Is what I felt between Scarpetta and, what's her name? Tempe. Yeah. Dr. Temperance Brennan. Which is funny because actually out of the books that got turned into a Hollywood show, now that I say that, is this one. So yeah, that's kind of weird. What's the difference here though? Because we're going to talk about so we brought up Kathy Reichs and Patricia Cornwell, and then we talk about this other person, and I think they're supposed to be in different genres. Do you feel that they are? What's the difference for you between a mystery and a thriller? Without going into horror.
See, a mystery to me, is Agatha Christie kind of 10 Little Indians kind of mystery.
So a detective?
That's detective mystery to me.
Well, and then there's the cozy mystery versus the...
What an awful name.
Well,
who wants to read that?
There's a lot of
it's the cat ladies and the knitting ladies and the let's have a recipe in this book ladies.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I've not read any of those.
Before we get too far into the mystery stuff, I just want to remind our audience that we are open to questions, and if you have questions about anything that we say or comments or whatever, we'll try to get to all of them. I think we had one on there, so before we move on from Strangers in House.
Sorry. So Jason asks, does that mean that spousal abuse should be a topic that can't be used in such a way, or is there a way you can suggest that an author can use this topic?
That's a good question.
Well, because I hate this book and I don't think any of you should read it, I'm just going to tell you she fakes it. She uses it as a plot point and the character fakes it. So, yes, I think you can write about spousal abuse as long as you're not faking it to commit murder. So, that's why it made me upset, is because they took this thing that should be real and should be scary and should be sad, and they turned it into
And it wasn't real, it was just a hoax.
Yeah. That's why I didn't like it. Yes, I do feel that there are books that have talked about spousal abuse and have given power to that and are definitely very worthy.
And I do think that there are topics that you should really be responsible when you're writing.
That's what I don't. That's what I meant.
It doesn't seem responsible to just write about something like, let's fake my spousal abuse in order to get away with a murder.
Yeah.
Or any type of abuse or rape or anything like that, right?
That's what I didn't like. That's the perfect word, is responsibility as an author. Yeah.
Anyway, so back to you guys obviously
Thrillers.
like mystery suspense thrillers.
No, I don't. I have a few authors.
You have a few that you like.
No,
So
I've read them.
You know, you guys all like picked up like, oh, I like this one. I'll talk about these ones and whatnot. I looked on the shelf to try and find ones that I liked, and some of them we talked about last time. My little like is not. I mean, I like the Da Vinci Code. I like Michael Crichton. We talked about those last time, so we don't need to again. I find that a lot of mystery writers these days are very formulaic, and they're just writing the same story over and over and over again. And which is why I was like, why did you pick this book up?
Most of those aren't written by James Patterson, actually, guys.
Oh, so there you go.
Yeah. That's why I don't like.
Sorry, James Patterson, don't sue me.
Although read that series, because
movies.
this is actually one of his, and one of his beginner ones, and one of his, like, actually well-written ones.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you. After about 6 books by any author in a genre, stop reading.
Yeah.
No.
And so I like the ones that, I like mystery suspense that are like, here, there's a couple of really good ones that you really kind of can get behind, but then as soon as they're like churning them out every couple months, you know that either, number one, they're not writing their own. So that's something that we can talk about. What do you guys think about that?
I hate that.
So James Patterson actually is a perfect example of that. He is a publisher that basically leases out his name. A lot of his recent books, and you'll see 2 authors on there.
Sometimes you won't, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes you won't. They'll write as. So he has contracted people to write for him. He edits them, goes through them, makes sure that they're in his style. So it's not like he's not doing any of the work with that.
Do you think he does it? I don't even think he does it.
Well, I think he has some say in it, but yeah, there's definitely
It's his name.
a part of it.
I think
but
he wants that. Yeah.
I don't like it when they lease out their name.
I don't
like,
either.
Write your own books or help those other people. Like, you can even say recommended by James Patterson, and then that person's like, oh, I like James Patterson books, and he recommends this book, so I'm going to read that. Like, I can't imagine someone like Neil Gaiman saying that. Like, here,
But
here's
he
my
also
name.
has less than 20 books out.
Exactly.
So James Patterson probably has 50 or 60 under his name.
Yeah. Not saying that none of his books are good, but that's, I kind of, when I look on the shelf of a mystery, like what's behind us here, a lot of them is like, oh, look, there's a whole shelf of.
Well, it's interesting. We have a little comment here. I love the commentary on authors becoming formulaic while sitting in front of a shelf full of Clive Cussler.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we have we have all Patricia Cornwell with Michael Crichton. Yeah. Although actually Michael Crichton gets really good reviews, I have to tell you.
This is like the space that we have. Sorry. I would love to sit in front of
and
this
is one of the genres that does that.
Yeah.
This is one of the big genres. You have this one and you have romance, and they're going to go about 20.
But the reason why I like these kinds of books that are sometimes formulaic is the same reason why I read romances. Is the only reason why I'm reading that book is to just distract me from real life.
Yeah.
Just for
and
distraction,
I think a
pure
lot of people
entertainment.
read for that.
This is why I watch some of these movies and stuff. Some of the shows that are like, it's just pure distraction.
Because it's the
pure
same thing over and over again. You can kind of turn your brain off while still being
I can be
engaged.
Yeah, I think we all have those.
at the same time, and that's why I
especially
like
for someone who likes to read, because you're still reading those words. You're still finding a story.
Yeah.
And I think people who really enjoy reading can find enjoyment in some parts of any story. Even like when I don't like a book, I do enjoy reading that book because it's that time that I got to do that. Mm-hmm. So it is something that I would prefer to be doing. I'm really struggling with our picks here though, because none of them are really thrillers to me. I feel like we've really gone into the mystery area. Like a thriller to me is like scary murder where you don't know if the person's still in the house. Not really like who did it, but like what's going to happen.
So
which is what I thought Stranger in the House was going to be about.
Yeah,
and the fact that there was like Stranger, I was like, ooh, Stranger in the House. There's going to be someone in the house and she's not going to know.
Why do you look like that's going to be sexy to you?
No.
You're like, woo! Stranger in the House.
No. Because I was excited.
Yeah, that was obvious.
But I think that now I can't even, like, whatever. Now I'm just thinking sexy thoughts. Thanks. I'm just like, whatever.
No, the title, yes, I'm with you.
Yeah, so I was like, oh,
thriller.
good, a good thriller. Like, I thought there was going to be someone in the house.
Like what? Give us an example. It would be, what's a good one then?
The one that I'm going to recommend as my favorite book of 2017 that I'm currently reading right now that you have to wait till the next episode to find out.
I read one a long time ago. It was by Lisa Gardner, and it was about, I think a woman had like escaped this husband, and he was tracking her down, and he was doing small things to like taunt her and chase her, and she was that was like a keep me up at night, scare me kind of one. Yeah.
So is Lovely Bones, would that be a thriller?
What?
Lovely Bones? No, not really, because she's a ghost.
Yeah, that was like feel good.
Yeah.
It had like a baby blue cover.
Yeah.
I know, but
And it was about a little girl.
Everyone has a different level of what scares them, Maya. Clearly you have a warped sense of mind that
I think
thinks
so.
that this is
I was
sexy.
scared more reading that book, and that show scared me too.
Oh man. Okay. Well, because you didn't know who was going to do it. Who did it, right? Is that why?
Well, if she was going to help people catch her murderer.
Oh, okay.
So you're saying a thriller to you is something that
The thrillers where
Gets
I
your heart
don't,
going.
I don't want to get out of bed. Like I would double check the doors are
See,
locked.
and to me, that's just horror. To me, okay, so the difference
see.
between mystery and thriller for me is a mystery is more about, okay, we have a crime or a mystery that we need to solve, and people are systematically going through the clues to find the answer.
Oh, okay.
So Sherlock Holmes, even the Da Vinci Code, I would call a mystery because they're trying to figure out what's going on.
Pieces.
You're going
Right.
along there trying to figure out what's going on. Whereas a thriller is something that is fast-paced, high suspense. You don't know what's going on, but it doesn't really matter if there's a mystery involved. It's just a lot of things happening
Okay.
Right.
that are high, fast energy.
A thriller
fast-paced.
scares me with something involving people, and I think horror is like not so much people. Like I'm looking at like scary vampire or
Okay.
something like that.
So Jason is asking, what is the scariest book you've ever read for each of us? Then along
I've got
those
lots of
lines.
questions.
I thought it was a good idea to read Tommy Knockers in grade like 5. Yeah, I thought you are a good reader and you can read fast. Let's read an adult book. And that pretty much scarred me for a good number of years. And I've never touched Stephen King because of it.
Click,
Yep.
clack, the rattle bones.
Yeah, no, Tommy
Neil
Knockers.
Gaiman.
Oh, he's got some good scary stories.
See, and I tried to read Cujo and couldn't do it.
Were you in
I
grade
got too
5?
freaked out. No, it wasn't in grade 5, but and I read The Stand once when I was on night
Also,
shift.
you read. Oh my gosh,
That was a really
not good
long
plan.
read. That wasn't that scary.
I like haunted stories I like short stories that are
Yeah, that's
are
He told
haunted
Click
stuff.
Clack Rattlebones when we saw him, didn't he? And that was a pretty scary story.
So scary.
Yes.
I haven't read really,
yeah.
really scary ones.
Oh. I don't do scary. I like if a horror movie preview comes on the TV, I turn the channel. I'm that bad.
I'm a wimp again.
Yeah, no.
So you're not watching
House, I
American
couldn't do
Horror
it.
Story?
No. No, I'm not. A couple people are like, it's such a good show though. I'm like, well, maybe I could try it. And so I asked my sister
No,
who's watched
you-
it, and she
no.
was like, no! Are you kidding me? No, Maya, you
You
could
couldn't
not
handle
watch
it,
that.
Maya.
No.
It's so
I
good.
know. No,
So
I don't do many. I think I've
Because
seen
Lovely Bones to me was scary, and I was scared putting that one down.
What do you guys get scared by? Like, what is it? For me, it's paranormal. If it's like something paranormal or ghost related.
kidnapping.
Yeah.
Oh, see, so you're more like, this could really happen to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh, okay.
this could really happen. There might be something under my bed. I have an awesome bed now that has drawers. Doesn't have nothing can grab
So
my
nothing
feet.
can grab your
Not
feet, yeah.
scared of going
Yeah, no, kidnapping. That's like, or, yeah.
Yeah.
Like murder in a parking lot. That's what gets me. I don't want to do like the It movie or like those otherworldly ones, but I can handle those more. Scream was scary, like as a movie. Yeah. Since a lot of people watch movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chaser, slasher, that type of thing.
Bloody
gets
stuff.
me. Yeah.
Not my favorite.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah.
Desmond is asking, what are your guys' top 2 favorite authors and least favorite authors?
Well, that's actually a really good question. And we are actually talking next time about our favorite authors of 2017, 2018.
I'm excited.
So,
Lots of lists.
you'll
to
have
try
to
and
tune in
promote.
next time, Desmond, to find that out.
In this genre, though, I did pick ones I like. I like Lee Child. I would call this like a bit of a thriller from your guys'. It's like a fast-paced, moving, what's going on, rather than like the detective story. if I'm gonna like pick a thriller in this genre, I like a military one. I think they can be fun. I know it's weird. I don't know why.
Don't seem like a military
Louise Penny is a really good, more detective mystery one. Really like her, Quebec-based. This is her newest one, actually. I don't know why it's on the shelves at Pandora's, but whoever likes her should come buy this because it's on the shelves. So it's like $35 in stores right now. So
Not here.
anyways, I know. Louise Penny's really good. I like her. She's good. Yeah. So those would be. That's what I picked out from here.
Patricia Cornwell, I used to read a lot of her. Just there's too many other books to read in life, so I've moved on from Kate Scarpetta. Definitely Dan Brown. Spoiler alert for next one. I really want to read the new Dan Brown book, Origin. So I'm excited about that one. But again,
How old is he going to be in it?
I don't know.
Da Vinci Code came out in like the 90s.
Can I say save your time?
What?
I read it. I don't know, whatever.
Save your time.
Yeah.
We'll talk after.
Because you like the other ones, right? And you wouldn't necessarily
I did.
recommend Origin?
No.
Is he old? Like, can he
No.
walk? Is he in a wheelchair?
Oh yeah, he's still running from people and then want to kill them.
Like,
It's an interesting concept.
that's, you know what? Okay, here's another thing we can talk about in this genre. Is like, so even Louise Penny, who I like a lot, it's set in a small Quebec town. There's not that many murders in a small town.
Right? It's like all of a sudden, and now we're in the same town,
Yeah.
and there's another
Oh,
murder.
there's like, how does this always happen to Jack Reacher? I
feel
struggle
about
with
Langdon.
that.
I'm like, oh really? He's running
Robert
from people that want to
Langdon.
kill him again.
This university
You
professor
think
has
he
been
would
in, like,
learn?
That's the other thing. They're stupid.
Just drop the conspiracy.
Like just like, and nowadays,
Out of there.
put it on Facebook, conspiracy guy, like round the world news in 5 minutes, and Robert Langdon, you're safe, right? Because then everybody knows, and then everybody's running for it, and no one's gonna.
Interestingly enough, Origin. We'll talk about that
Oh.
sometime.
Yes.
Anyways.
So I don't. That is where, and I think that's a problem with becoming formulaic, is like trying to force these characters into situations that just don't exist anymore.
Yeah, and
Really
I think
shitty
that's the
lives.
thing. Like with the Da Vinci Code, so we can talk about him because we're talking about him. I love this one because it was fresh and new, and it had like these conspiracies in it. And then he kind of did a couple of the same that were still decent, never as good as this one, but. And then he just kept going, and I'm just like, another.
Well, and that brings us back to the
How
author
many
that
conspiracies are there?
And that brings us back to the author, because, like I said, Gone Girl was the book of the year, 4 or 5 years ago now? And, I mean, it does wow you. Like, it really just throws you for a loop. And then this is just another, it's not even, like, the same author taking that formula. But I remember that when Da Vinci Code came out, a bunch of people came out with, who is it, Steve Berry that came out with the Templar ones, and there was Costova who came out with the story.
Awesome. And you know what? That's not the authors. That's they're already
hired to do that from different publishing
Well,
houses,
and
right?
they're already probably written, and then the publishers are like, oh,
This is
we
been on
need
our
to
desk
find-
for 6
We
months.
need to find more books like that because they're going. So let's
Yeah.
bum bum boom boom boom. So publishers.
Is that why a book becomes big,
Stop.
though? Is because it is the first? Or can a book still become big when it's not the first?
I don't know.
In that kind of area. Like, what kind of thriller would, like, bust you out? Like, what would you be like, wow,
Well, if she knew that, she'd be writing it right now.
Right?
maybe she is. You never know.
You'll have to wait till it comes out.
I have to wait for a lot of stuff, apparently, in this
So-
episode. It's like the third thing you told me to wait for.
JP is asking a question, or saying, just commenting about the formulaic thing I'm thinking. I always wondered that while watching Murder, She Wrote.
Mm-hmm.
But
I love Murder, She Wrote,
Who
though.
watches Murder, She Wrote?
that's
and Jason wants to know, when are we going to do The Name of the Wind by Sir Patrick Rothfuss? That's your fave.
Jason.
I still need to
Do you know?
read that book.
What? Yes.
No, I haven't read it yet.
His father died a couple weeks ago, so
Oh, that's sucky.
yeah, it's pretty sad.
Yeah, because that's the reason he hasn't written.
There's very few people I fangirl over. Like, I'm not a big like celeb follower. Patrick Rothfuss, he's my fangirl celeb person. Yeah.
So, like, who, if you could spend a night with having dinner, Miss. Oh, you're so dirty. Having dinner with someone, like I'm thinking Patrick Rothfuss, like sitting down with him and just having dinner. Oh,
Yeah.
I have Jody actually got to go. Jody and Erica got to go dancing with him in his
Dancing.
Yeah, at one of the World Cons. I was so jealous.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy Patrick Rothfuss. When will we do The Name of the Wind? Well, I don't know. He has. You know what we should actually do is his small one about Ari, because that's a nice small one. Yeah, it's only like 300 pages, and she's a really interesting character to read about.
Cool.
So that would be one for the new year that we could think about. Plus, we haven't really done any fantasy, have we? We did some sci-fi, but
I think we did fantasy. It's been, we've been over a year now.
that's exciting.
Everyone.
Have we really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Over a year.
That's
This
awesome.
is this time last year. I think. Last
Oh yeah, it was
month
early
our
fall
1 year.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So happy anniversary to us.
There you go.
We'll have to
And
go
on that
to-
note, what are we doing next week?
Next month is December, so
Next
we are
month,
going
sorry.
to try and help you with all those bibliophiles in your life and tell you some best books of 2017. If you haven't learned by now, we have very varied reading choices. So you will get a good wide variety for everybody in your life from our best books of 2017. So we're looking
And
forward to that.
We're also going to talk about our anticipated books for 2018.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's a long list. And we also might have some special guests on next month so that we actually do have recommendations for all ages in your life as well.
We have some kids on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Next month.
Yeah, so that's the plan for December, and we're looking forward to it. I always love the end of the year lists. I'm a sucker for those. So I've already started reading. I think Amazon's came out yesterday and Indigo's was last week sometime. So
Kobo has a special on right now for some of the books. I'm
Who
excited.
does?
Kobo does.
Oh.
They're special this weekend. So I'm
Oh,
going
I love
online.
Really,
buying some
I don't
stuff.
understand people that don't know how to buy for book lovers. Like,
It's
buy them a
easy.
book. It's like, doesned even matter.
my husband, my birthday was last week, and I got 3 books and 2 magazine subscriptions.
Yeah.
And I laughed.
He's a good man.
Made me laugh.
Yeah.
He even wrote in the card. He's like, I noticed a theme after this was all done. I was like, of course.
Well, we have a draw. And so first, I guess, we should thank our videographers. We have
Brass Media.
Brass Media, Olds Community TV, who does our filming for us and then
Oh.
puts us on Facebook as well as on Channel 148 on ONET.
Yep.
So thank you
Famous
to them.
in the arena.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
heard that.
Thank you to them for
That made me
all of the
really
work
nervous.
that they do each month. And
We really appreciate them coming out for our little
Totally.
hobby.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's great.
yeah, and we also have a draw that we do every month for a $10 gift certificate at Pandora's Books. So thank you to them. All you have to do to enter is like our event, share it, or say you're coming. So those 3 things, that's all you have to do. And
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. So watch for that on our Facebook page. And our winner this month is JP.
Woohoo!
Right on.
More books for Maya.
Sorry. I have my wallet tonight. I may have to spend that tonight.
So congratulations, JP. You can stop in anytime. Yeah.
Have a good night. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you
See
guys.
you next month.
See you.